This is CBN NewsWatch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Mark Martin. Work on the southern border wall has come to a halt with the new administration in the White House. And CBN News has found that it's leaving a literal gap that could have been closed. Chuck Holton reports from where the work stopped and what it could mean for the issue of illegal immigration.
Wednesday, the 27th of January, 2021 is the last day of construction on Trump's border wall. He's completed over 450 miles of this 30-foot tall, no-climb fence in strategic areas all around the southern border. But right here in New Mexico, it stops and we have an open border with just anti-vehicle barrier. And the problem here is that the wall stops there, there's a big gap, and it picks up on the other side. This gap now becomes a funnel for anybody who wants to enter the United States illegally. That's unfortunate because this problem could easily be remedied. The steel bollards needed to fill this gap are already bought and paid for, stacked nearby and ready to be installed. But Biden's order to halt construction means these fence panels may never get installed, and one construction worker told us he believes they will simply be abandoned, left in the desert to rust away. CBN News reached out to one of the largest contractors that was working on this project, and we're told the stop work order will immediately cost over 5,000 construction jobs while the government tries to decide how to proceed. These contracts have already been awarded, so it may actually cost more for the Biden administration to halt construction than it would to simply allow these panels to be put to use. CBN also asked the Army Corps of Engineers for comment, but has yet to receive a reply. But that's not all. A few miles away, this construction yard holds more than 3,000 already completed wall panels, which works out to more than 6.5 miles of fence that could be stopping drug smugglers and human traffickers from entering this country. Instead, it's likely these hundreds of tons of purpose-built steel will never be put to use, at least not under a Biden administration.
And Chuck Holton joins us now with more. Chuck, you saw the work firsthand. Do you think this will create real problems with illegal immigrants rushing into the country?
Well, Mark, all you have to do is ask the migrants themselves. I went into Juarez, Mexico, a couple days ago and interviewed some Cubans, some Hondurans, some Guatemalans, and all of them said that they're just desperate to get across this fence now because they understand Biden to have said that if they can get in here within the first 100 days, they will be granted amnesty. And so they say there's something like 75 or 80,000 of them on the other side of this fence right now trying to get in.
Tell us what you discovered with the panels.
Well, as I said in that piece, we found over 3,000 of them in a depot out in the New Mexico desert that are just stacked up. They're bought and paid for. The contracts to install them are paid for. They're all ready to go in. And they have been told to stop work. Some of the workers that were wrapping up there yesterday, their last day of work, told us that they have been told that those panels are just going to be abandoned in the desert. That is a scandal for the Biden administration because, as I said, they're going to have to pay to store those things out there now, and it would be cheaper for them to go ahead and put them up. But I don't think one panel of those will go up during a Biden administration.
Now, you talked about visiting with folks over on the Mexico side. Let's talk about the U.S. side. What are you hearing from people who live in that region?
Well, we talked to quite a few Border Patrol agents, and this is an interesting tidbit. They say that although they've been told that deportations were to stop, now that has been, enjoined by a judge, a federal judge, so that's on pause right now. But at the time, they had been told to stop deportations, but the Border Patrol agent said, we are continuing as fast as we can with removals. And that is, if we catch guys coming over this fence, we put them in a van and take them right back to the gate and send them right back into Mexico. And we're doing everything we can to stop this migration and to let these people know that they're not going to be able to come in and get citizenship just by jumping the fence.
So what do you think ultimately is going to happen with all this construction?
Well, I think if one panel like this goes up during a Biden administration, I would be surprised because his base will crucify him if he does that, since he campaigned on not building any more of this wall. But I'll tell you, speaking with some of the ranchers in New Mexico yesterday, they're saying that they're going to sue the Biden administration for not finishing that half-mile wide gap that we found out there yesterday, right on this rancher's property, because he said all that's happened now is they've created a giant funnel, and all of the illegal migration in this area is going to come right through our property. And they've got the material and the men and the contracts to put that fence in and finish it up. It wouldn't even take them very long to do, but they're saying they won't. So the locals are very concerned about that for obvious reasons.
All right, Chuck Holton on our southern border with Mexico. Thank you for your time and your insights in that report, Chuck. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
President Biden continued his executive action blitz Wednesday with signing orders aimed at addressing climate change. The president wants to cut oil, gas, and coal emissions and double energy production, and mandates that climate change be a central part of all national security and foreign policy decisions. Before signing, Biden said the U.S. has waited long enough.
It's not time for small measures. We need to be bold. We have to start by creating new good-paying jobs, capping those abandoned wells, reclaiming mines, turning old brownfield sites into new hubs of economic growth.
Biden says that addressing climate change will create American jobs and not eliminate them. Dr. Jessica Moorman is a scientist and policy expert with the Evangelical Environmental Network. Welcome, Jessica.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
You say we have a moral responsibility to support oil and gas workers in the coming energy transition. What is happening to the industry and what can we do?
Well, the fact is that America has always been an energy innovator, and we've been seeing big changes in the industry and the power sector over the last several decades. Right now, we're seeing renewables, clean energy like solar, wind power begin to outcompete oil and gas in the marketplace. We're seeing these forms of energy become the cheapest. And what that means is that we have a moral responsibility to help our oil and gas workers transition in this market-driven change that we're seeing. And this isn't the first transition we've seen in energy, even in this decade. With the rise of methane gas production, what we saw were coal workers were displaced and left behind. And even with President Trump's efforts to support the coal industry, we still saw jobs lost. And what we need to do is prepare for the future. We need to support oil and gas coal workers to prepare them for the clean energy economy, to bring jobs back to their communities, help them translate their skills like plugging those wells, reclaiming those mine lands so that they can be used for recreation and to enjoy God's creation. Investment needs to be made in these communities. And I will say, we have seen a commitment from the Biden administration to do so, but I think we all need to hold their feet to the fire to make sure that they do and that they don't leave our critical fossil fuel workers who have really been the engine of making sure that we had prosperity here in the U.S., that as we transition to cleaner sources of energy, that they're not left behind.
Jessica, what do you think could be positives with President Biden's Buy America plan, especially in manufacturing?
Well, for better or for worse, the government is a big spender. And so what this plan does is put that spending power and pledges it to support American companies, pledging to bring back jobs to the American industry, in the automobile industry, to produce electric vehicles, and invest in our infrastructure and do clean manufacturing to make sure that we still have high-paying jobs brought back here at home to do manufacturing, and to do that to also clean up God's creation.
All right, Dr. Jessica Moorman with the Evangelical Environmental Network. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
In other news, a New York Attorney General report found that the state underreported COVID nursing home deaths by as much as 50%. An investigation found that nursing home residents who died after being transferred to a hospital were not counted in the deaths. Governor Andrew Cuomo has been criticized for months for the way the count was handled, and now this report confirms the massive undercount. The investigation also found that some nursing homes did not follow proper infectious disease control standards. Nationwide, COVID-19 has taken the lives of more than 425,000 Americans. And the latest White House forecast shows that in the next month, the U.S. will reach between 479 and 514,000 deaths. It also predicts it could take months before everyone who wants the vaccine gets it. Meanwhile, schools across the country are wrestling with reopening. Philadelphia students have not been in the classroom since last March, but hope to go back starting next month. In Chicago, the mayor wants to reopen, but the teachers union says no.
I cannot, as mayor, in good conscience, as a mayor, as a mother, and a proud resident of this city, leave these students behind who are failing, when a safe solution is absolutely possible.
A new CDC report says children should go back to school and classrooms if precautions are followed, since the risk of the virus transmission is less for them. Winter weather moved into North Carolina and Virginia overnight. Take a look at this tree that went down in a snowstorm. It fell across Highway 158 in the Raleigh area, blocking the road and affecting power lines. It reportedly landed on a house. Parts of the Raleigh area saw several inches of snow after a burst of accumulation overnight. Virginia Beach also witnessed a rare snowfall with some accumulation. A Christian lecturer at a Baptist college is taking heat for a tweet that labeled her as being transphobic. The Baylor Lariat reported Dr. Christina Crenshaw, who teaches English classes at the university, retweeted another person's comment on an executive order by President Biden in support of transgender rights. She wrote, "But what if I don't want my biological sons in the bathroom with my biological daughters? Do the 99% of us who do not wrestle with gender dysphoria have a voice? No." Trans students complained that her stand made them question whether they were able to feel safe with Crenshaw. Crenshaw has an excellent record with Baylor, and right now the school does still plan to have her teaching in the future, even though she isn't on the spring schedule. Coming up, they could possibly be the most pro-life generation in decades. What millennials really think about abortion and life.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.
This is CBN NewsWatch.
Thanks for joining us.
Watch breaking news, exclusive stories and programs, credible news reporting.
We show you what's happening in the world and how you can pray about it.
This is CBN NewsWatch, because truth matters. Weekdays at 5 on the CBN News Channel.
Superbook fans, here's something else you'll love. It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! Whoa!
The Millsburg Falls man coming.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry, excuse me. Ouch!
Are you getting this?
Earn super points to win daily prizes too, and so much more. Time to get back to my adventures. See you soon. It's the new Superbook Bible app, free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
Welcome back to Newswatch. The younger generation may become one of the most pro-life ever, according to Students for Life. A new poll by the group found that millennials and Gen Zs aren't as pro-abortion as often painted by the media and abortion supporters. The poll also found younger pro-lifers are frustrated by such claims, and as America's newest voting bloc, they want to be heard. Students for Life discovered about 80% do not want unlimited abortion through all 9 months. More than 7 out of 10 support limits on abortion, and almost half support banning abortion once a heartbeat is detected. Kristen Hawkins with Students for Life is here now to talk about these findings. Welcome, Kristen.
Thanks for having me today.
What was probably the most encouraging and surprising discovery in this poll?
I think for us to see that the plurality agreed that abortion should not be permitted when a child's heartbeat has been detected about 3 weeks after conception was the most shocking thing for us. It's very much contrary to what you hear coming from the rhetoric of Planned Parenthood, from the Biden administration, as to why they support such extremist policies on abortion. To see that almost a half of all these young people agree and think that this is common sense, that's significant for the future of the pro-life movement.
What do you think is making the difference for life among millennials and Gen Zs?
Well, I think, it's because we've never given up. The pro-life movement for 48 years has continued to speak about the violent reality of what happens inside of Planned Parenthood's doors each and every day. And I think that, continual education, I also think, what we're doing on campuses, what the pregnancy centers are doing, the invention of the ultrasound that all of us have seen our brothers and sisters, that those old talking points, those antiquated talking points of just a blob of tissue, just don't hold weight anymore.
What is the focus for Students for Life with the new Biden administration?
Well, we're focusing on communities because, presidential administrations come and go, but we know where we can make the biggest impact is in our states, right in our cities and with our churches. So we're actually activating, it's what we're calling the Pro-Life Future campaign in 19 cities across the country, digital and on the ground work. We will be there persuading young people to change their mind about abortion, educating citizens in a city, in a geographical region about all the alternatives that already exist, and activating the church to stand up and speak against abortion.
Kristen, tell us how Students for Life is participating in the March for Life this year.
Well, Students for Life, we're hosting the Stand for Life weekend in 18 cities across the country, including Washington, D.C., every night, Wednesday through Sunday. We will be holding activism training, virtual events. Saturday, I'll be speaking with Senator Tim Scott, Senator Marsha Blackburn. You can go to studentsforlife.org/stand4life to sign up to join our virtual trainings. Any member of the pro-life gen, regardless of your age, is welcome to join. We'll also be out here tomorrow with the light chain in Arlington, D.C., across the river from Washington, D.C., and then we'll also be in 18 other cities. And this life chain will hopefully be one of the largest that have ever been hosted across the globe, where you'll have young pro-lifers holding pro-life signs in the middle of rush hour traffic, and we're really looking forward to this.
And we're almost out of time, but tell us a little bit more how students all over the country and the world can get involved.
Yeah, you can go to studentsforlife.org. You can sign up to host a pro-life group and start a pro-life group in your middle school, high school, college. Bring a pro-life speaker, pro-life training. We will be there with you every step of the way. And if your school gives you any legal challenges, we've got some great lawyers.
All right, Kristen Hawkins with Students for Life. Thanks for your work and your time and your energy. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Still ahead, a milestone for one community ravaged by a volcano and how one group helped them recover.
When I came to Regent University, it's like the world opened up. I felt like I needed to advance my career and go back to school. Regent was a perfect fit for me. The Regent professors are world class. You are equipped. The focus of the faculty is on each individual student, whether it's online or in person. You become a part of Regent's family. You carry with you not just the content and the knowledge, but the confidence to understand that we can be significant in the world.
Regent University. Follow your path. Nigerian Christians are
Christians in Iran are routinely arrested.
Nepali Christians continue to suffer.
In times of trial and affliction, you need to know the truth.
One of the fastest growing Christian populations in the world.
Join Wendy Griffith and George Thomas for Christian World News.
Young people are the ones who are open to the gospel.
Powerful stories of suffering and hope that affect all Christians. Watch Christian World News, Saturday at 5 p.m. Get Protect Your Sleep and discover how to improve the quality of your life. A free DVD or booklet from the Christian Broadcasting Network.
If you're not a great sleeper, you can do things to make yourself a great sleeper. If you're already a pretty good sleeper, you can enhance your sleep and be even better.
5 leading experts help remove the obstacles between you and restorative sleep.
When you don't get a restful night's sleep, you wake up with an accumulation of stress.
Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to CBN.com to get your free DVD or booklet today.
Everything you do better with a good night's sleep.
You'll discover how food affects your sleep, how to put insomnia to rest, explore effective remedies for sleep apnea, and much more in Protect Your Sleep. Wake up to your best life and get Protect Your Sleep today. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to CBN.com to get your free DVD or booklet.
It was a year ago this month that the Taal Volcano erupted in the Philippines. It killed 39 people and sent tens of thousands fleeing their homes. Then the pandemic hindered the recovery. CBN's Lucille Toulousan shows us who helped the victims rebuild their homes and lives.
This is the Taal Volcano Island after the eruption. What used to be a famous tourist spot and home to some 6,000 families is now a no-man's land because it's been declared a permanent danger zone. Former resident Sherwin Pusa recounts how frightening it was when the earth began to shake.
I was feeding fish on the lake when all of a sudden I saw smoke rising from the crater. I can hear the rumbling of the ground while there was an earthquake. That's when me and my wife, who was then 5 months pregnant, fled the island.
Losing their home, Sherwin and his wife had to move to the city and stay with relatives. He found a job as a factory worker, but then after the pandemic hit, he was among those laid off. As a Christian, Sherwin surrendered their situation to God. After his wife gave birth, Sherwin brought his family back to their hometown.
If you really trust in God, you will have confidence in His perfect will. We went back to our hometown because I believe that whatever was lost, God will replace them.
Sherwin's pastor, Javier Sante, shares the same sentiment. Despite losing his house and their church building in the eruption, he continued to trust and serve God.
The body of Christ and His everlasting word will never be destroyed. I believe He is a miraculous God, and I will forever trust in Him. He uses many people to help those in need.
God has honored the faith of Sherwin and Pastor Javier. Operation Blessing took advantage of Pastor Javier's boat-making skills to provide boats as part of the rehabilitation and livelihood program for survivors of the Taal eruption.
Exactly 1 year ago today was when Taal Volcano erupted. And Operation Blessing is back here giving livelihood to our fishermen. This is the first batch of 9 fishing boats that we are giving to them.
First of all, I thank the Lord, and I also thank all the people whom He used to help us.
I thank Operation Blessing for your unending support. I pray the Lord will continuously bless you with good health so you can help more Filipinos in need.
Operation Blessing is here. We are commanded by the Lord to help those who are in need. And so as long as they need help, we will stand by them until they get back on their feet.
Lucille Toulousan, CBN News, Batangas, Philippines.
Operation Blessing is awesome work. Well, coming up, church missions don't always take place overseas. Here's a look at one church serving their community in a grocery store. That's next.
Christians around the world are standing with the Israelis. But why? In CBN's free magazine, Friends of Israel, you'll discover why Christians are supporting the Jewish state, how Israel is fulfilling prophecy as a light to the nations, and ways you can pray for the people of Israel. Israel needs the support of friends like you. Call now or go to CBN.com to get your free copy of Friends of Israel.
Heavenly Father, we do thank you for the work of your Spirit, Lord God, with this movement of getting the Bible,
yes,
Lord, into public schools.
Watch The Prayer Link, Tuesday nights at 6:30.
I am Region's first ROTC graduate student.
Thanks for staying with us. A Pennsylvania church decided to bless frontline workers in their community through what they called a grocery store takeover. Macedonia Church of Pittsburgh surprised nearly 200 customers and employees at a Giant Eagle grocery store by helping them pay their bills. Customers received $50 toward their groceries, and employees were given $50 gift cards to nearby stores. The church expressed appreciation for hardworking frontline workers and the faithful givers that made the initiative possible. What a great story. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of CBN News Watch. Remember, you can find more of our news programs on the CBN News Channel anytime or online with CBNnews.com. Also, tell us what you think about the stories you've seen, and you can do that by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. Give us your feedback, or of course, you can reach out to us on social media. Talk to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.